Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Gateway Church's interview with a couple of our wonderful congregation members. So I'm so pleased to have Raquel and Matt here. They are part of the worship team and they've been attending Gateway for some time. Welcome.
Thank you
for being here.
Of course.
Wow. So I'm going to get started and find out a little bit about where you're from and kind of growing up, how was God a part of your life, or was God introduced to you later in life? So let's start first with Raquel. Where are you from?
I am from here. I've lived here all my life between West Richland, Benton City, even more like the outskirts. But yeah, I've lived here all my life. My whole family's here, and some in like Hermiston, but like pretty much all here in the Tri-Cities. And my parents weren't really like about God or like Christianity or anything. Like I knew that they believed in it. Like my dad's grandpa was a pastor back in Kentucky when he was growing up. So my dad grew up in the church. So it was always kind of a weird thing to me why he never like introduced it to us as kids when he, lived that. I actually had to find him on my own.
And how did you find on your own a little bit more?
I actually went to Life Church 7, their youth group, for about a year or two with a friend of mine. And then as middle school girls do, we stopped being friends, for some petty reason. And I had to stop going because her mom was my ride. And my mom worked way too much to have to take me on Wednesday nights or whatever. So it was actually a long journey. So I had to kind of steer away involuntarily, but I never lost the drive for it though. Like I knew that's what I needed in my life, and I knew I needed him in my life, but it really took meeting Matt in Austin at Domino's of all places, my junior year of high school at the ripe age of 16, and Gateway.
You could feel it.
Yeah. And meeting Pastor Mel was like, oh my gosh. It was just incredible. Like you can just tell that man lives for God.
Oh yeah, he keeps it real.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit earlier about a little bit of your journey, and you said that you knew you needed God. What made you come to that conclusion? I
had a lot of friends in high school, all of my friends in high school actually, that were partying, and vape was a really huge thing when I was in high school, and I was in Running Start. I went to college my junior and senior year of high school. I knew I was not going the same path as a lot of these people, and I knew that it was because I had something, deep down from, I really do believe, and I do think Life Church 7 and the youth pastor there, his name's Nate, I don't know if he's there anymore, but for kind of instilling that. I went to church camp one summer with them, and it was life-changing, actually. Ethan and I was telling him about it the other day. We had this, every night you would have, it was essentially a concert, and there would be like a live band, and it was like everyone was jumping up and down and bawling because you could just feel the Holy Spirit just, oh my gosh, just there. So it was, I could just feel that I needed him, because everything else, like I knew that, drinking was wrong, and I mean drinking at, 16, 17, yeah.
Right.
Just to feel, it maybe something, and I think a lot of the kids were, not happy with their lives, or maybe had home life problems, and as did I, but that was kind of something that I realized that, drinking or getting high or whatever wasn't going to fix anything.
So you're very mature for your age.
I am.
Because
I do get that a lot.
Because you knew something was not going to work for you, was not a good fit for you, a lot of these things, and you had plans, and you were thinking about that all along. And so pairing that with your experience at the first church, and it made you feel really good. And so God was a huge part of your life, big part of your life ever since then. So Matt, do tell, where are you from?
I'm from here. Grew up in West Richland. All my life.
Yeah.
Never really moved. Same house all the way through. Not anymore though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Tell me about your upbringing, and was God a part of your life in your home?
A little bit. I think we were what you would classify as lukewarm Christians. Only went to church on Christmas and Easter. I mean, my mom really wasn't part of it, and my dad was more. He was more who would push it, but really, like, overall, we didn't really go to church. Like, I remember, like, me and my brother, we didn't really want to wake up on Sundays. Like, it just wasn't really something that we realized was that serious. We just didn't really think a whole lot about it. And I guess my parents didn't really, they didn't really know it too well either, because they didn't convey to us that how important it was.
I see.
So it never really became like a too important part of our lives. Like, it was just never a regular thing. Like, yeah, we'd go on Christmas, yeah, we'd go on Easter, but it was like, all right, we did those 2 for the year, and we're good.
So what happened? What changed for you, and for you to have a relationship with God?
Everything changed when Austin brought me to church one day. I hadn't been going to church for like a couple of years. Like, I wasn't even going on Christmas and Easter anymore. And me and Austin were going to breakfast with some of our friends, and I didn't want to drive, and I just wanted to like bum a ride off of him. And so he's like, all right, if you come with me, you have to come with me to church, and then I can give you a ride there. I was like, okay. So he took me to church, and he's like, hey, I'd played guitar already, and he knew I'd played guitar. I was in my band at that point. And he's like, do you want to play guitar in the church or in the band with the worship team? And you can just drop in today. And I was like, sure. And then we all, we did service and everything. And they're like, wow, that sounds so good. And then the rest is history, I guess. I just, more and more, listening to Mel and, just, his heart for God and everything just really resonated with me. And I've just walked a long path. I mean, I've had...
So your music really kind of was the lock-in to get you to really have an open mind, open door for God to be a part of your life, and how it all connected really well.
Very interesting, because I don't think I ever would have, come in here and played that, and that the music helped me stick with it too, because I like to sleep in. I don't like to wake up early on the weekends. So I mean, it gave me a reason to come in, and a reason to be here, and obviously now I love it, and I love God, and I have a heart for it and a relationship with God and everything now. But like before, it just kind of gave, I do truly think that God gave me that, that passion for guitar and playing guitar, and it gave me that gateway to find Him and find a relationship with Him.
That's cool. I like that story. Both of your stories are very, very good and inspiring, because I always wonder, for those who have not connected close with God, or on the fence, or just kind of don't know how, and then how things just sort of miraculously come together. The two of you all meeting how you did, and then the music with the church, because your passion is playing your guitar and wanting to be in a live band, and that's where your passion is. And so you're both getting married, and that's super exciting. That's super exciting. And that you went from church meeting, and then it all came together, and now you're getting married. So this is really, really wonderful. So tell me, so our congregational members would love to know a few fun things about you. What's one of your fun things that you like to do besides play your guitar?
That's a good question. I guess I ski. I go skiing a bit. That's like the one. I don't really do sports, but I do ski.
Have you done skiing with him?
I've actually never skied with him. He hasn't gone in, I think, the last year.
The seasons have been pretty rough.
Okay,
lately,
so you're a skier, and
yes.
What about you?
I don't really do a whole lot, if I'm being honest. I really just like to relax. I like movies.
You do?
I do. Matt actually a couple years ago bought me, it's called a tree pod, and I am so excited for the weather to get warmer because it's literally like this like tent that you hang in a tree. And it's like, and it sounds nuts, and it is nuts, but it is so comfortable. Like you just hang.
I've seen that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
They have like the sleeping bag things that people go camping and high up in the rocks, and I don't know how they do that. But yeah, you sleep in this thing, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's so cool.
that is my favorite thing to do when the weather's nice.
When the weather's nice, good.
Yeah, but movies are
All right. So, what is the best thing you like about Gateway? I know your worship team music is great, and you love, and I've heard your voice singing so beautiful. But what is particular thing you like about Gateway? Do you like the round tables?
Oh, absolutely. And that I think was a huge thing for me because like when I went to Life Church 7 when I was a kid, I going to church on Sundays, it was like I felt like so out of place because my friend that I had in middle school, she would never come on Sundays. I always had to beg my stepdad actually to take me, but then he'd drop me off and I would just go on by myself. And thankfully I had friends from the youth group that would go because their parents would go too. But it was like, we're talking about Romans, okay, like, but I have no idea what this means or who he's even talking about, who's Matthew, who are all these people and how do they relate to my life? Like, it's something, with the tables and especially with how Mel just explains things, I feel like how he always is able to relate it back to real life, and especially like the younger generations, because I did also find, at least at Life Church, that the senior pastors, the only ones that would ever laugh were the seniors in the room. So it was like he knew how to relate to them, of course, because that was who he related with the most. So like the tables are a game changer for sure. I get to ask questions. I don't feel stupid, asking a question or being confused by a certain passage or something, and then everyone's there to be like, yes, that is how it is.
It's just more like personable.
Yeah.
Very, very more. Yeah, I understand that. It is, definitely is. And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you want to have input, and you're absolutely right, because goodness knows, I will put things out there and I go, yeah, but wait a minute, I didn't know. And then people will look at me like, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Mel always says, Jackie, I love your questions, because you want to feel comfortable enough to ask those uncomfortable questions as you're going through your journey of learning about God. And so, yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me today, and our congregation will be so pleased to hear this wonderful interview. Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
And continue to see you in the worship team.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
All right.
be there.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Bye-bye.